UFC superstar Conor McGregor emerges in handcuffs after attacking a bus full of fellow fighters in an insane and violent rampage. Hey guys, it's Allie with your most necessary story of the day, and UFC Lightweight Champion Conor McGregor has now been charged with 3 counts of assault and 1 count of criminal mischief after attacking a bus full of fellow fighters at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Conor, who is 29, turned himself into police after he showed up at a media day for UFC 223 to confront his rival, Khabib Nermogomedov. Conor and his squad had flown in from Ireland for the event and attacked the bus Khabib was on in retribution for Khabib and his entourage cornering a friend of Conor's, another fighter, Artem Lobov, the day before. But it wasn't just Conor's nemesis, the undefeated Khabib, on this bus. Other fighters were injured in the attack, and several of them will now not be able to compete in the weekend's huge fight card in Brooklyn. UFC Women's Strawweight Champion Rose Namajunas, a fierce 25-year-old badass, was also on board and was so shaken from the incident she nearly dropped out of her title fight, but now says she will compete. UFC President Dana White has called this the worst incident in the history of the company, which says a lot for a crazy fight promotion, and says he will not be helping Conor out of this terrible legal situation.
He's probably going to be a convicted felon when this is over.
We haven't heard from Conor as of this taping, but Dana also now says Conor isn't even sorry for this attack and insinuated he might be on drugs.
I think that he's surrounded by a lot of people. You know, he was very upset that I said yesterday, what is this guy on drugs? Is this guy on
people
drugs?
Have insinuated that.
What would make somebody show up and do this when you're the biggest, one of the biggest stars in the world?
Conor became the biggest star in the UFC after being the first man to ever capture and hold 2 UFC title belts at the same time. He then leveraged his massive popularity and ravenous support from his beloved Irish fans into a super fight with Floyd Mayweather. Conor had never boxed professionally before that bout. He fought well, but was ultimately knocked out in the 10th round by arguably one of the best boxers ever. But that was the last time the notorious one stepped inside a ring of any kind. Conor's rise in the UFC cast him as possibly becoming one of the greatest MMA fighters ever, but he has now not fought in the octagon in over 500 days. Part of that reason could be that he earned over $100 million in his loss to Floyd, that, according to Forbes, in his long absence from UFC competition, in which he has not defended either of his titles and had one of them stripped, he's spent most of his time showing off his obscene new wealth on Instagram. Conor, who also became a father during his hiatus from the sport, was thought to face the winner of the main event on the fight card he just destroyed. That man would have likely been the Dagestani destroyer Khabib Nermogomedov, again the man Conor was trying to attack. The UFC's biggest star will now likely be facing jail time, suspension from the sport, and you have to think he will also have his remaining UFC titles stripped. That announcement seems imminent. I hate seeing great athletes fall, and I hope Conor can get a hold of his life. Please give us a subscribe over here and let me know if you like us talking about sports.